Welcome to the first ever Power Rankings video on this channel. I am Nick and I will be taking you through this totally professional analysis of every Best Picture nominee. We're 2 weeks away from the Oscars and we've had some Guild Awards in that span of time. So now we have to rank every Best Picture nominee from the lowest chance to the highest chance of taking the award. It's Power Ranking time. Now before we begin, make sure to subscribe. Our yearly goal is 100 subscribers and we want to hit that early in the month of March. And also make sure to like this video because a clapperboard is going to appear and I'm going to make sure you like it. I'm watching, because I'm watching. In 10th place, we have F1. Now this is the easiest last place pick on the list, mainly because it is so obviously the blockbuster pick that was kind of a shock, and it's only here because blockbuster and all the technical stuff. Just like Top Gun Maverick a couple years ago, which funny enough, it is the same director, F1 really does not have a chance to win. As much as I love the movie, I think I have it in my top 5 of movies from last year because I loved it that much. I don't think it has any chance of winning. And Tate McRae was absolutely snubbed of Best Original Song for Just Keep Watching. Instead, Diane Warren in her 17th nomination, which probably won't win because of K-pop Demon Hunters, so 0-17 in Best Original Song, man. Then in 9th place, we have Bugonia. Now this movie is being labeled as a long shot win, and that is absolutely the case with this movie. Now I haven't seen Bugonia, and I really want to. It looks amazing, but the vibe it gives off, what a lot of people say, this movie is just a little too weird, too niche, too in that realm to win Best Picture. Granted, we did have Everything Everywhere All at Once win a couple years ago, but that was so universally loved until film Twitter decided to call it overrated that it just could not lose. Bugonia, it is just the oddball pick, being as blunt as possible. This just is not the kind of movie that wins Best Picture. Then in 8th place, we have Train Dreams. Now this is another long shot pick to win Best Picture, but I think this has something that the other long shots don't have, which is the Spirit Awards sweep, just the absolute dominance it had at that award show. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Cinematography, which makes its case higher than the other long shots in my opinion. Now, even though I do think the chances for Train Dreams are pretty low, especially with it not getting as many nominations as what people would have liked for this movie to have, I do think it is a dark horse potentially to win if something goes completely just out of the blue. Train Dreams takes it, although I still think the chances for Train Dreams are not non-existent, but I just do not see it happening. But the Spirit Awards performance, absolutely incredible for this movie. Then in 7th place, we have The Secret Agent. Now this movie is an interesting case to me because I don't think it has the biggest chance, but I also really do not want to count this movie out. I feel like the praise and the campaigning that The Secret Agent has is really what is keeping it in as a sneaky contender. It has so much love. The campaigning is really just keeping it alive. And if Wagner Moura does win Best Actor here, then my live prediction, this movie would just skyrocket on the list just exponentially. But I think what also does help this movie's case is that at the Golden Globes, it beat out Sentimental Value for International Film, and those two are really going head-to-head in the category at the Oscars. Secret Agent in Best Picture, I don't think is as high as Sentimental Value or the top 6 on the list, but The Secret Agent, this is a sneaky pick, and another one where I think it's a long shot, but it does have enough going for it to at least consider it. Then in 6th, we have Frankenstein, which the first of 2 horror movies that I will be talking about on the Best Picture nominees. Now, this had a staggering 9 nominations for Frankenstein, which is nothing short of incredible. Guillermo del Toro has always performed well here. The Shape of Water won Best Picture, Nightmare Alley got a nomination, which I like Nightmare Alley a lot, so I enjoyed that nomination. And then we have Frankenstein getting it again for Best Picture, so 3 movies in a row for Guillermo del Toro in Best Picture, which is a really great achievement for him. Speaking of, it did miss the director nomination, which I do think will hurt this movie in the long run for Best Picture chances, despite its nominations being just widespread, where it's not just having a home in the technical categories, it's pretty much everywhere, where we have the Best Picture nomination, we have a bunch of other like above-the-line nominations compared to the below-the-line ones that this movie has. But the biggest awards night this movie did have was the Critics' Choice Award, and I do like the performance it had there to back this movie up. The problem is at the Guild Awards, this movie just has not performed. So even though it has 9 nominations, I don't really know how much of a Best Picture chance this movie will have. Then in 5th place, we have Marty Supreme. Now this was my favorite movie of 2025, so I would be ecstatic if this movie won. However, I really doubt its chances to even possibly win anything. It went 0 for 11 at the BAFTAs, losing every single category it was in, and I do think the campaigning did oversaturate the voters a little bit. Timothée Chalamet, I have no problems with how he was marketing. I think he did a great job getting the general public into it, and I think he did a good enough job initially with the Oscar voters to draw attention to himself. The problem is, I think just overall, the campaigning is a little too much and it's going to rub the voters the wrong way, and that is what was happening with the BAFTAs, and I think it might translate over here. This is definitely giving me Irishman vibes, where it's nominated a lot, but it's going to win 0 at a bunch of the major awards. The same thing is looking to happen for Marty Supreme, where it lost everything at the BAFTAs, and looking at what it's nominated for and what it's against in those categories, the only thing I can possibly see this winning is Best Actor for Timothée Chalamet, but even at where we're standing now, that is looking like a complete toss-up category, but this is Best Picture, not Best Actor. But seriously, Marty Supreme, since release, it has definitely died down with its steam, and I do not think it will win Best Picture at all. Then in 4th place, we have Sentimental Value. Now 9 nominations is going to put any film in contention. Comparatively to Frankenstein's 9 nominations, though, Sentimental Value has the sweep at the European Film Awards, which I definitely think will help this movie out heading into the Oscars, as well as the fact that it had the Best International Film win at the BAFTAs, so it will help in the international category against The Secret Agent. I do think winning the BAFTA International Film is a bigger statement than the Golden Globe one, so that's why I'm putting Sentimental Value above The Secret Agent. But we also have to talk about how its nominations are just so widespread. We have it in picture, director, screenplay, supporting actor, and then a bunch of the technical awards and everything. Sentimental Value is everywhere. This one, I think, if it has a late resurgence and everything falls into place perfectly for this movie, we could see a Coda situation where Power of the Dog was supposed to win, and then Coda just, late had that huge upswing and somehow just upset. So I think it's unlikely, but Sentimental Value, I wouldn't be shocked if we see an upset with this movie. Then in 3rd place, we have Hamnet, and it really does feel like Sinners and One Battle After Another are sweeping every single category it's in, but there is something that Hamnet has over every other nominee besides those top 2, is the Best Picture win at the Golden Globes in the drama category. Now granted, Sinners and One Battle After Another were in the comedy category, so it couldn't face off against Hamnet, but winning that is just something that this movie has against everything else. The Oscars also do like Chloe Zhao with Nomadland winning Best Picture and her winning Best Director for the same movie, but a lot of the awards that Hamnet's getting, virtually 90% of them, are coming from Jessie Buckley for Best Actress, which does make me question how much of a fight can it put up late as we approach the ceremony. But I do think if any of these movies can make an upset or cause a late resurgence to make us kind of question heading into the ceremony, it is Hamnet. Maybe Sentimental Value a little bit, but Hamnet, I think, comes the closest to it. Now for suspense for the top 2 films on the list, I just want to say subscribe one more time. Make sure to like, comment what your favorite Best Picture nominee was, what do you want to win, and what do you think is going to win. Look, I gotta make suspense into the top 2 because you all know what the top 2 is. It's just, how am I gonna rank it, you know? So let's stop delaying it. Let's just get right into it. But subscribe, please. Please. Subscribe. In 2nd place, I am going to take Sinners. Now this set the record for the most Oscar nominations in history with 16, which, looking at the track record, the 3 that were tied for Best Picture nominations at 14 were All About Eve, La La Land, and Titanic, and 2 of those won Best Picture. La La Land, I am so depressed that it lost. That is my favorite movie ever. I am still mad about that to this day, but 2 of the 3 that had the record won, so that should bode well for Sinners. But when we look at the previous few years, a recent Oscars trend is that the movies that have the most nominations heading into the ceremony have not been winning. Everything Everywhere All at Once and Oppenheimer most recently did, but Emilia Perez didn't, Power of the Dog didn't, Roma and The Favorite were tied and none of them won. Joker didn't win anything, so we have a track record recently where the most nominated film isn't winning. But I do think having the most in all history definitely puts Sinners in a different category than Joker and Emilia Perez and all of those films. Now this movie has been winning a lot of the smaller awards, but it hasn't been winning Best Picture at all of the major awards, which I do think does hurt this movie's trend heading into the ceremony. However, Sinners did not have the most nominations at those shows. The shows that it wasn't winning Best Picture at, One Battle After Another had the most nominations. In the Oscars, Sinners is the one with the most nominations, so maybe that does speak into something for Sinners, which is why I definitely think there is a huge fight for Sinners, and why the gap between second and third is like right here, but the gap between first and second is like right here, narrowing to almost tied. But I would love to see Sinners win. Marty Supreme was my favorite of last year, but Sinners, I mean, I want the horror genre to win, and I love Ryan Coogler, so I would love to see him win Best Picture for his first like original IP since Fruitvale Station. So I would love to see that for him. But Sinners, it's a very close number 2, but it isn't number 2 because in first place, it is One Battle After Another. Now, 13 nominations is absolutely insane for any movie, but I do think this was a little overshadowed just because Sinners did set the record, but 13 nominations is absolutely wild. It was the most nominations a couple years in a row, with Emilia Perez and Oppenheimer having that amount. So One Battle doing it, nothing short of incredible. Now, this movie has been sweeping every single Best Picture win it can get at all the award shows, and a constant has been Paul Thomas Anderson winning Best Director, which is making me think of Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer, where with Nolan, a later career near masterpiece for Oppenheimer. Some call it a masterpiece, which totally fair, where it's winning everything. Nolan was getting his first Best Director win, all his first Best Picture wins at all these award shows. So Paul Thomas Anderson with all of these constant Best Director wins, constant Best Picture wins, it is definitely making me think, like Christopher Nolan, this is Paul Thomas Anderson's year to finally win his Oscars. Now, the only thing that I can see negatively impacting this movie is just a weird stat, which probably won't even matter heading into the awards, but might. The BAFTA winner in the last 10 years, only 2 of them have won Best Picture at the Oscars, which is Everything Everywhere All at Once and Oppenheimer. So given that trend, the BAFTAs and the Oscars not correlating, I could possibly see that being a continuing trend here because of just how close Sinners is to One Battle After Another. But it is just interesting to kind of think about that the BAFTAs and Oscars have not really agreed, but the thing going for it is those 2 wins in the last 10 years are so recent. So maybe that will help out One Battle After Another after all. So thank you all for watching this Best Picture video. I hope you enjoyed the power rankings. If you like this video, make sure to tell me because I might do another one like the day or 2 before the Oscars happen. So once again, thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you all next time.